How's it going, everybody? I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Archer. I feel a lot of people, especially coming from the PSP version, when it comes to the Archer, the Archer was a big damage dealer, and you were able to just nuke units out in one or two turns, one or two hits. They were dead. You could run, multiple Archers in the army or in your battle group and just wreak havoc, and now they toned it down, and Archers still do damage to, like, squishies, and they still, have their uses, but a lot of people go, well, I don't even run Archer. I run other units because I'm cool, and I don't need that in my life. And they're just like, I use the Archer in the beginning, and then I just stop using them. Well, I think a lot of people, maybe, more so maybe new players, I'm sure a lot of you pros at the game that, know what you're doing, don't need to hear this, but I think a lot of people use the Archer wrong. And they focus too much on damage, too much on its initial ability to hurt units, and don't realize the utility and what else the Archer's capable of. And obviously damage is a key part. Like, if a unit can't do damage, it's almost like, why use them on the battlefield, right? But I feel you get a lot of, how do I say this? You get a lot of cool bows, a lot of good bows, a lot of status condition inflicting bows. And I feel that is where the Archer truly shines. Because in my opinion, if you're not using status bows on your Archer, you probably should just get a different unit, unless, you really want to try to min-max damage on them and you're really just trying to make a damage Archer. Because other units can use a bow or a crossbow and do just as much damage as an Archer does, for the most part. Now, because the Archer specializes in a bow, you would think that's what you'd want them to use, obviously, so, I mean, I can't imagine, just using dual daggers on an Archer, but anyway, the whole purpose of this video is to talk about condition and debuff bows and how they are really good on the Archer, and it should be the main purpose of your Archer, is just to get out there and smack stuff with charm, silence, whatever debuff bow you are going to use at the time, or condition bow. I have the silence bow, which I find really useful, especially with engulf for the extra range on my attacks. So if I get a proc of engulf, and then I have Eagle Eye proc at the same time, or, the next turn or whatever, because that guarantees that the condition's going to hit. Like, I can shoot pretty far on the map by increasing by 3, so usually my Archer can hit the back line of the enemy, doesn't have to get too close into danger, and I can silence any caster, any cleric. I find silence really strong. It's one of my go-to debuffs in the game. I know I talk about, like, Breach being amazing, and, but I really starting to like silence, especially for shutting units down. Obviously, there's other ways to shut units down too, but there's just something satisfying about making a stupid cleric that's healing all the time, making them stop, or making a AoE wizard that is constantly hitting your units with AoE, getting them to just stop doing that. I don't know, it's really satisfying. And I feel, like I said, a lot of people don't play an Archer this way, and they just rely on damage, and they go, well, my Archer just doesn't perform well. It just, doesn't really deal damage like X or Y unit does, but you can still deal your damage because you're going to hit the squishies. So not only are you going to hit them pretty good, but then you're going to inflict silence on them. So I really feel like this is the way the Archer is meant to be played, especially as you get later into the game, Chapter 3, Chapter 4, and even post-game, once you start getting some of like the elemental bows and the really crazy weapons, the relic weapons, all that kind of stuff. I definitely feel like the Archer really excels with this style, and it's one of the few units that can really do this, like long range, very long range debuffing. It's not like you're using Lobber or anything. Like, you're getting way more range than you should have, just because of Engulf, honestly. I mean, Engulf is like key in this strategy that I'm trying to just explain. And like I said, I know a lot of you probably already do this, and I'm just talking to the wall here, but if you're a new player and you don't play Archers like this, maybe give it a shot. You might find some new love for the Archer. I know I have. Half the time I'm running 2 Archers in my party now, which I would never have done before. I don't think I even did that when I could. I always most ran 1. But anymore, a lot of the later maps, a lot of the later battles, there's way more casters and way more units, just getting in the way, and having different kinds of debuffs like silence, charm, whatnot, are super helpful for shutting down units and just getting things done. But let me know what you guys think. I feel a lot of people you know, need to hear this about the Archer, and, you know, I think it's very viable. How do you play the Archer? Do you do something similar, or do you do something totally different? Curious to know what you use your Archers for, how you use them. Do you just not use Archers because you got too many other better units? Let me know, guys. I would love to hear it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Later, guys. Peace.